This might be the most important and prominent piece of paranormal history in the world. With that belief, Matt Rife and Elton Castee bought one of the most haunted homes in America. They approached the purchase with excitement, eager to uncover its secrets. But as they entered, a strange voice behind them sent a chilling shiver through the room. Was it the Annabelle doll, or something far more sinister? The truth buried in that haunted house will send chills down your spine. In August 2025, comedian Matt Rife and YouTube creator Elton Castee shocked fans and paranormal enthusiasts when they became the new owners of the famous Ed and Lorraine Warren house and occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. The purchase price was $1 million, but the value of what came with it went far beyond money. For decades, the Warren home had been the center of ghost stories, investigations, and some of the most chilling cases in American paranormal history. Rife shared the news with his millions of followers, writing, "I have officially purchased Ed and Lorraine Warren's home and occult museum." He also revealed a responsibility that came with the deal. "I am the legal guardian for at least the next 5 years of the entire haunted collection, including the Annabelle doll." In a TikTok video, Rife expressed how much the purchase meant to him. "This might be the most important and prominent piece of paranormal history in the world," he said. "I know a lot of you guys don't know what any of this means whatsoever, but if you follow ghost stuff, this is as big as it gets." His words made it clear that this was not just a business decision, but something personal. Elton Castee, known for his YouTube adventures and investigations, shared the same excitement. Commenting under Rife's announcement, he wrote, "Still can't believe we're the new owners. Sitting on their porch now looking at all the photos of them at this house. We're going to make this the best paranormal investigation location on the planet." The legal side of the deal added another layer to the story. The purchase was completed through Haunted Homes LLC, with Castee listed as a manager. Matt Rife has always spoken about his fascination with the supernatural, often referencing his love for ghost stories and horror history. He described the Warren property as the most important and prominent piece of paranormal history in the world. On social media, he clarified that while they had bought the home and land, the haunted collection was only entrusted to them. But what really happens when you inherit a haunted legacy? Let's tell you horrific details when they step inside the Warren house for the first time, where excitement quickly gave way to a chilling sense that they may not be alone. After entering, they saw the centerpiece of the Warren collection, the Annabelle doll. When one look at it at first glance, it is only a Raggedy Ann toy, but the stories around it make it one of the most feared objects in the paranormal world. The doll is said to be attached to something dark and demonic. Over the years, visitors have blamed it for injuries, accidents, and overwhelming feelings of dread. Some even claimed that simply being in the same room with Annabelle left them shaken for days. When Matt Rife and Elton Castee stepped into that home, they knew the doll would be the biggest challenge. Annabelle's reputation was built on decades of warnings from Ed and Lorraine Warren, who often said the doll was not to be underestimated. Even now, people react strongly to its presence. Many visitors refuse to look at it directly, while others whisper prayers under their breath. Rife admitted that he feels the weight of standing near it. The house and museum carry more than just one legend. Before it was even reopened, stories circulated of objects moving on their own, whispered voices in empty rooms, and sudden cold spots that left investigators unnerved. Rife himself has said that when he walks through the rooms, he feels the history pressing down on him, as if the supernatural lingers in the air. Recently, the museum was tied to tragedy during the Devils on the Run tour, led by paranormal investigator Dan Rivera. He had been traveling with the New England Society for Psychic Research to display Annabelle around the country. On July 13th, Rivera was found dead in his hotel room. State police reported that nothing unusual or suspicious was discovered, and the doll was not with him at the time. Still, the coincidence only deepened the sense of unease surrounding the collection. The first walkthrough of the property with Rife and Castee was unforgettable. They described peeling paint, creaking wood under their feet, and air so heavy with dust it felt hard to breathe. Cobwebs hung in corners, and dim light flickered across rows of glass cases. Inside were the famous objects: Annabelle locked away, a self-playing organ, fragments from Eastern Airlines Flight 401, and countless other relics with sinister pasts. Some who have entered claim they heard whispers or felt sudden chills. A caretaker spoke of seeing shadows cross a hallway when no one else was present. Even the building itself seemed to carry an ominous weight, with groaning timbers and cold spots that felt unnatural. Apart from the Annabelle doll, the house hides different cursed collection. Let's take you deeper into the haunted artifacts, each with its own terrifying story. Beyond Annabelle, the Warren Occult Museum is packed with hundreds of objects tied to chilling stories. There are over 750 pieces in total, each with its own unsettling past. Matt Rife explained the scale of what he and Elton Castee have taken on. "We are the legal guardians and caretakers of all 750 haunted artifacts and items in the Warren Museum, including the Annabelle doll," he said. "We don't legally own the items, but we are legal guardians and caretakers of the items for at least the next 5 years." For him, the chance to guard such a legacy is more than ownership. Inside the dimly lit rooms, glass cases protect objects that investigators claim have carried curses or attracted spirits. One of the most notorious is a self-playing organ that has been reported to give off faint, eerie notes when no one is near. Visitors describe the sound as soft and distant, as if someone invisible was testing the keys. The museum also houses fragments from Eastern Airlines Flight 401, a plane that crashed in the Florida Everglades in 1972. Survivors of the crash later claimed to see the spirits of the dead on board other planes that reused parts from the wreckage. These fragments now sit quietly behind glass, though caretakers insist the area around them feels colder than the rest of the room. Other cases hold ritual masks, voodoo dolls, and items taken from exorcisms. One glass cabinet is filled with small statues collected from cases in Africa and South America, some of which are believed to have been used in ceremonies to summon spirits. Staff members in the past said they heard faint whispers near the case, even when the building was empty. Another section of the museum displays cursed paintings and mirrors, with stories of families who claimed the objects brought years of misfortune until they were surrendered to the Warrens. The stories are not only about what the artifacts might do, but also how people react to them. Many visitors reported headaches, sudden nausea, or a heavy feeling in their chest when standing too close to certain objects. One investigator said after touching a mask, he suffered terrifying nightmares for weeks. The collection has been closed to the public since 2019 because of zoning laws that barred the house from operating as a museum. For years, these haunted objects have been hidden from sight, their stories kept alive only through the Warrens' records and the memories of those who dared to walk among them. Ownership of the artifacts remains with Tony and Judy Spera, the Warrens' daughter and son-in-law. They are co-directors of the New England Society for Psychic Research, the group founded by Ed and Lorraine in 1952. Tony Spera also serves as the curator of the collection. In a statement to Today, Spera said they have no plans to ever sell the artifacts, and confirmed that Rife and Castee are leasing them under a 5-year agreement. He added that there are plans to eventually open the museum off-site from the house itself. With so many cursed relics in their care, the real question is how people reacted to two entertainers owning one of the most haunted collections in the world. The purchase of the Warrens' haunted property by Matt Rife and Jake Castee has drawn reactions from actors, demonologists, and reporters. Some are excited, some are cautious, and others are deeply concerned about the risks of owning such a collection. Vera Farmiga, who played Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring films, admitted her curiosity. She said she was so curious as to what was going to happen with the house. She even joked that she hoped Rife doesn't have a garage sale. Her co-star Patrick Wilson, who played Ed Warren, focused on the practical impact. He explained that he could not imagine neighbors wanting lines of cars paying money to go into the house. Both actors reminded fans that the property is not just a movie set, but a real place tied to unsettling stories. The reaction from experts has been more serious. Chris DeFlorio, a demonologist and retired New York Police Department officer, gave a public warning. He said, "I understand there is an attraction to it. It is interesting. There is definitely a curiosity that I do understand." But he stressed that he believes it is inviting evil in. DeFlorio urged people not to treat haunted objects as sideshow entertainment. He explained that in his work, he had seen the dangers of spiritual forces that many dismiss too quickly. DeFlorio runs New York Demonic Investigation with his wife, Harmony. The couple calls themselves spiritual first responders, and they travel across the country to deal with cases involving alleged malevolent spirits. They have worked in Long Island, New York City, Texas, Mississippi, and Connecticut. In his 2024 book, Called into Darkness, two NYC first responders battle the supernatural, DeFlorio described some of these encounters. He was also featured in the 2023 documentary It's Coming, which followed a Brooklyn family facing what they believed were terrifying forces in their home. His experience, he argues, proves that objects linked to demonic spirits should not be handled lightly. While experts like DeFlorio raise alarms, celebrity reporters are following the story from another angle. Kelsey Carulli, a senior writer for Realtor.com, has been covering the deal as part of her beat on celebrity real estate. She has a background in journalism, having worked for outlets like the Daily Mail and J Media Corporation. For her, the haunted purchase is part of a larger trend. Stars buying unusual, history-heavy homes that spark public fascination. As the debate grows, one question stands out. Will preserving this haunted history come at a cost, not only financially but spiritually as well? Only time will tell, because right now they are planning something really strange and surprising for the property. Matt Rife and Elton Castee have big plans for the Warren House and Museum. They intend to reopen the property for overnight stays starting November 1st, 2025. Guests will be able to book rooms for up to 8 people per night, and only those 18 and older can participate. Bookings are set to open on September 5th. Rife explained the purpose behind the reopening, saying, "We plan to open the house for overnight stays and museum tours, so you yourself can experience and learn all the haunted history surrounding this amazing place." The overnight experience will not be ordinary. To keep guests safe, the caretakers will provide protective items such as holy water and prayer cards. All visitors must sign both physical and spiritual liability waivers before entering. The museum area will only be open during specific nighttime hours, limiting access to ensure safety while still allowing guests to witness the artifacts firsthand. These measures are meant to respect the haunted legacy of the property while giving people a chance to experience it in a controlled way. Beyond the home itself, Rife and Castee are planning a separate commercial museum site. This new location is expected to open by May of the following year. While the house will remain the center of the original paranormal collection, the off-site museum will allow even more people to explore the artifacts and their stories without disrupting the private property. The plans show a balance between fascination and caution. As the artifacts are brought back to life through tours and overnight stays, the house's history refuses to stay buried. Visitors may find themselves face-to-face with experiences that are far darker than expected, testing the limits of both courage and belief. Though they are very excited and have big plans for the future, they still face many issues that must be sorted out before the property can officially open. One of the biggest challenges Matt Rife and Elton Castee face in reopening the Warren House and Museum is zoning. The property is classified as residential, which means it cannot legally operate as a public museum without approval from the town's Planning and Zoning Commission. Until that approval is granted, they cannot host full public tours or overnight stays. To move forward, they must submit detailed plans that show how they will ensure safety, manage crowds, and comply with all local regulations. This process can be time-consuming, and even small mistakes could delay their plans. Neighbors in the area have also voiced their concerns. Many are worried about increased traffic, safety, and potential disruptions in a quiet residential neighborhood. Patrick Wilson, who portrayed Ed Warren in the Conjuring films, commented on the issue, saying he could not imagine lines of cars paying money to go into the house. His remarks highlight a real tension. While fans are eager to experience a piece of paranormal history, those who live nearby face very real consequences. The concerns are not only about convenience but also about how daily life in the neighborhood could be affected by visitors who may not understand the gravity of a haunted property. On top of these zoning and neighborhood challenges, Rife and Castee must strictly follow the terms of their guardianship agreement. They are responsible for caring for and preserving all of the Warren Museum artifacts for 5 years, yet ownership remains with Tony and Judy Spera. They cannot sell, transfer, or claim any of the items, and they must ensure that the collection is maintained exactly as intended. While this legal framework protects the historic and paranormal value of the artifacts, it also limits the caretaker's flexibility, adding pressure as they plan for public access. Every law, every neighbor complaint, and every safety regulation carries weight. One small oversight could lead to serious consequences, both legally and in terms of public perception. Balancing the thrill of opening one of the most infamous haunted properties in the world with the responsibilities of zoning compliance, safety, and guardianship is no small task. For Rife and Castee, excitement must constantly be tempered with caution, and every step toward opening the property comes with the risk of unexpected challenges. Let's now explore what it truly means to live with a property so deeply entwined with haunted history, and what happens when the past refuses to stay buried. The Warrens left a mark on paranormal culture that is impossible to ignore. Their investigations, books, and museum helped bring demonology and ghost stories into the mainstream. Matt Rife acknowledged their influence, saying they arguably put demonology and paranormal into the mainstream. For him and Elton Castee, the question is whether they can preserve this legacy with respect, or whether it will become a spectacle for entertainment. The responsibility weighs heavily, because they are not just owning a house or collection, they are taking on decades of cultural significance. The potential dangers are real and multifaceted. Physically, the house is old, with creaking floors, peeling paint, and fragile structures that could pose safety risks. Spiritually, the question lingers. What if the stories are true? What if some artifacts carry the same dark energy that the Warrens claim to have experienced? There is also a reputational risk. Some critics already worry that turning the home into a public attraction could be seen as exploiting tragedy or evil for profit. Rife has said he wants to honor the history, but public opinion will be a constant challenge. Not all of the collection's stories are fully documented. Some artifacts have murky histories, and many claims cannot be verified. Visitors will demand proof, and the caretakers may face more unexplained events under their watch. For Rife and Castee, their role is clear. They see themselves as caretakers, guardians, and perhaps stewards of folklore. They hope visitors walk away with a sense of history, wonder, and respect for the paranormal. At the same time, they must confront a difficult truth. In preserving haunted history, they may also be preserving fear itself. Every decision they make carries stakes for safety, culture, and belief. And the question remains whether they are ready for the consequences of stepping into a legacy that has never been entirely tamed. If they open the Warren House and Museum to the public, would you dare to visit? Share your thoughts in the comments below.